Nissan has shown off more of its upcoming all-new Z car, and we've seen some promising signs. Hi, my name is Jake Stump, you're watching Drive, Brake, Fix, Repeat, and today we're checking in on the Nissan 400Z. Did you spot that, ladies and gents? Yes, the all-new Nissan Z will have a manual transmission. Hallelujah! Ooh, and a spicy little rev of the engine there as well. That's certainly a 6-cylinder noise and not the possible 4-cylinder Z others have claimed. And additionally, that sort of husky, breathy thwomp exhaust note certainly makes the new Z sound turbocharged, which gives credence to earlier reports that Nissan would be repackaging the spicy V6 from the Infiniti Q60 Red Sport 400 into its latest sports car.
Well, shall we? Wow, this thing's quick!
That engine, codenamed VR30 DDTT, is an all-aluminum 3-liter V6 with variable valve timing on both the intake and exhaust side, direct fuel injection, and twin turbochargers. If the name Red Sport 400 didn't give it away earlier, the Q60 makes up to 400 horsepower, and that would certainly explain why everyone has defaulted to calling Nissan's latest sports car the 400Z. Even though with just 3 liters of displacement, it really should be the 300Z, but hey, bigger is better in America, and that includes nameplates that don't really mean anything anymore.
Today I am driving a BMW 430i.
But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think the Z will actually make 400 horsepower. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Nissan pulled those figures back to just over 300 horsepower. Why? Well, that's because it is tiny. Take a look at the silhouette over in that blacked out imagery. Once you pull back the blackout curtains there, you're looking at a very petite looking sports car. It's almost laughable to call it current, but the current 370Z, you know, the one that first went on sale back in what feels like 1784, features an already very stubby shape. In fact, probably too stubby, as it took away from the side profile of its 350Z predecessor and ended up with a shape that's kind of just fat and bulbous.
And I'm not fat, I'm big bone.
The Z33 350Z may not have been the prettiest car on earth, but when it is lowered and sat on some fat wheels and tires, it does look pretty good. The Z34 370Z, on the other hand, well, the verdict is still out on that even a decade after its debut. But yes, the new Z looks slimmed down and more taut, something I definitely approve of because as regular viewers of the channel will know, the cars on sale today that I find the most attractive to car enthusiasts are the Mazda Miata and the Toyota 86. They're small and agile, not fat and powerful, and with modern cars today, that is something that is very difficult to achieve. One more stylistic thing of note is to check out those daytime running lights. Now those DRLs look almost identical to the ones found on the Fiat 124 Spider, and in my opinion, that shape and that design is something that could not live on a big fat sports car. It's too thin, too narrow, too delicate. So hopefully we do in fact have a new lightweight sports car on our hands. And there is some precedent here to what I'm saying, because if you remember all the way back in 2013, Nissan showed off its IDX concept car. It was a small 2-door rear-wheel drive sports car reminiscent of the old Datsun 510 and positioned to take on the Toyota 86 and the Subaru BRZ.
Drive a Datsun, then decide.
And to be honest, people went apeshit for it and proclaimed it to be the car that would save Nissan. It brought back the fire that was missing from the brand. But then there was nothing. There was total radio silence. It was a dark time for Nissan after all. But what if the flame wasn't entirely extinguished? What if Nissan had been planning a smaller sports car before everything went south? After all, there's no way the brand would have intended the 370Z to live a life as long as it has up to this point. Now, I suspect Nissan originally planned to debut something new around 2016 or 2017 to sneak up on the 86 or the BRZ, which would have been around 4 years old at that point, and to take on the newly redesigned ND Miata. This new model would have been smaller in a callback to both the IDX concept as well as the much beloved S chassis 180 and 240SX. Of course, with Nissan instead facing dire financial straits, having two relatively low volume sports cars on sale at the same time would have been disastrous. Even Toyota, the largest automaker in the world, conceded the exact same thing when they did finally unveil the Supra. They knew that collaborating with BMW like they had with Subaru to make the 8.6 was the safer, smarter financial move for such a low volume car. And that brings us back to the present in 2020. Everything's on fire, all my cars are covered in smoky ash, there's a global pandemic, and Nissan and sister company Infiniti are still in a very bad place financially. And now that they are finally debuting a new sports car, it just has to be a Z from a consumer recognition standpoint. As cool as it will be to see a new S chassis on the market, that doesn't resonate with nearly as many people as the Z car does. So instead, with this latest Z, they're making some concessions to the sports cars and sports car concepts of their past and blending it all together to make this new, smaller, lighter, and more agile Z car. What's next? Nissan next, which is how the company is deciding to debut new product. They have a virtual presentation scheduled for the new Z car. Now, the website is a bit confusing, but because Japan is so far east of us and thus lives in the future, the debut is on September 16 in Japan and September 15th in the United States. I have a link down below to the RSVP service Nissan is using so you know exactly where to be and when. So the new Z car is finally happening and I am stoked. I love small rear-wheel drive sports cars with manual transmissions, and another new option on the market is great news as far as I'm concerned. But what do you think? Will the new Z car be a big deal or is it too little too late? Please sound off in the comments down below. And as always guys, my name is Jake Stump. You've been watching Drive, Brake, Fix, Repeat, and I'll see you guys next time where I go do more fun things with cars. Bye!